Hey guys, welcome to the Rock Bottom Cafe. We are here to relax, to get everything that's off our minds, off our chest, and release it into the universe and to hopefully feel better. So we're just going to wait for some people to want to join the link. The link is on screen. It should be in the description box or wherever it should be. But either way, you'll see it. It says StreamYard. Click on it and let's talk about it. Let me know what's on your mind. Who's bothering you? Who's stressing you out? Something you want to share? A secret? A confession? Maybe. Maybe a confession. So, either way, I'm just going to stand here, sit here rather, and chill out. And I'm going to relax. And I'll wait for someone to come up. And we're going to go from there. So, oh, y'all asked how my day is going. It's going great. Thank you. But yeah, this is a new concept, a little mental health, so to speak. So we're doing something where, a lot of times we walk around, our blood pressure is high, and we're just stressed from all the things that we're going through. We don't talk about it like we should. And we'll give opportunity. If you want to show yourself, that's great. If not, that's cool too. But the main premise of this channel, rather, is to just see what's on your mind. It doesn't have to be necessarily a confession per se or a secret. If like a coworker is really like getting on your nerves or whatever like that, just whatever it may be, whenever you get things off your mind, whenever you just release into the universe or however you want to say it, then you just feel so much better. That weight is lifted off of you, and you just can't do no better than that, right? Hey, Teacher Chronicles, how are you? Do you have anything that you would like to get off your chest or get off your mind? Maybe a confession, a secret, someone pissed you off, or maybe it doesn't have to be all negative. Someone made you happy, some good stuff. You were kind to someone, not today. Someone was kind to you, or it doesn't have to be all negative. There's nothing wrong with sharing the good that people have done. But a lot of times, let's be real, you want to have opportunities with someone you don't even know, a stranger. And sometimes it just feels better to just let it all out. So I appreciate Teacher Chronicles for being here, even though they have nothing to get off their mind. So maybe another time. So yep. Let me see. Do I have anything to get off of my chest? Who is making me upset? You like to listen? No. Is that a fetish? To want to listen? I'm just joking. Like my guy last week with his lady panty wearing fetish. That was fun. People have like a lot of different things going on that we don't know about or we don't understand, but who are we to judge? As long as it's not hurting anyone, as long as it's not illegal, why not go for it and let people live their own lives? So some may disagree and said it's maybe, if you let certain things keep going on or not address it or not change it, maybe it's a way of, whatever. It's a way that, a breakdown of society. Like, for example, the whole deletion of unborn children. I mean, is that something that is a personal choice? Or is it something to look after all mankind, to look after society as a whole? So that would be a good question I would like to ask, since that's really one of the hot topics that's going on, the things that is rocking the United States at the moment. How do y'all feel about, and for all the people who'll be watching on the replay, leave in the comment section when you watch How do you feel about the deletion of unborn children? There's much more of children, of babies. Is it something that should be personal, or is that something that we need to all look after as a society to preserve society? So, Teacher Chronicles, you have any opinion on that? Or you just still want to listen? So either way, how do I feel about it? How do I feel about some smortion? That's a hard question because it's easy. It's kind of easy to say, well, I don't believe in this, I don't believe in that. But if my back was against the wall, to be totally honest, and if it was a situation that I shouldn't have been in, but I ended up in, and something like a baby were to come from it, I don't know how I'd feel about that, and if a smortion would be easy to put under wraps and be done with. I mean, I believe it's everyone's right to do how they want to do, but I can see why other people, may think the other way. So I see that Teacher Chronicles don't want to touch that, right? So either way, if anyone comes up, or like I said on a replay, go ahead and leave a comment on what you think. Is it a personal choice or is it a society choice? Because a lot of times you can't go by what you want for yourself. You have to look after the whole unit. What's best for the whole unit per se. So sometimes it's not necessarily a morality issue. It's definitely a moral issue. But sometimes you can kind of separate. It's very, very this is not clear. So anyway, my thing is, let's just be real. All of the people, all of the conservatives or whoever that believe that that smortion is not the right thing to do, okay, fine and good. But let's be real. If any of those politicians or anyone who are of high standing, so to speak, and if they gotten into a situation, let's say they had like a mistress or one of their kids or something, were to end up in a situation where a child has been conceived, let's be real. We heard the stories that the rich people, they don't do regular clinics or anything for such scenarios. They don't do that. They go to their regular doctor. And it's put under different codes, so you can't really see exactly what's going on, as in medical codes, when it comes to billing or just under the table in general. So I think we have someone that wants to come up. I can't wait to ask and see what another fellow audience member would think. Let's see, hold on for 1 second. So yeah, they're gonna be really like wishing they probably didn't exactly pop up, because this is going to be a heavy question. So let me send the link over. Podcast. Hold on. Yep. Let's see. All right, I'm sending the link over to you, Miss Donna. All right, if you want to check your email or whatnot, and then hop on. Let's talk about it. And meanwhile, don't be like last time, Donna. You got to tell some deets this time. I'm just joking. But hopefully, where this channel is going to go, it's just, this is going to be a dumping ground. You're going to come here and you're going to share what's going on, and we're going to be better for it. So that's the whole premise of this channel. It can range from love interest or just whatever. But I think it'll definitely make the world a better place once we can just really get a lot of things from being bottled up. That's a lot of issue. Even like with coworkers, you ever wonder what is that coworker's problem? Why is that one particular coworker a bitch on wheels? Or why is that one coworker so like a muscle neck, so stiff of neck, or just so difficult to deal with? What is their problem? A lot of times this is something simple. It could be this one simple thing from home, you know, and they are talking about it. And therefore you have the disgruntled coworker that's the bitch on wheels tearing up your life because they're not happy because they're all bottled up and suppressed. So either way, this is definitely going to be a thank me later channel. Oh, so we have Loving Life.
Hello, how you
Hey,
doing?
hey girl, what's going on?
Oh, I couldn't find you at first.
Oh yeah, it's a newer channel, so I sent you the link over, so I see you got it. So what's going on with you today?
Well, today is my day of gratitude, of course. So
Your
I
day
did my
today
check-in.
today is what now?
My day of gratitude. So
Oh, what is so tell so before I'm not sure what you heard thus far, but
no,
before okay, good, because it's gonna be an interesting little topic. But before we get into that, what is your day of gratitude about?
my day of gratitude is about thanking God for last week and everything He did for me and my family and people around me, and being grateful for what's about to occur for this week and the things that He's going to do for us. So we do here brunches and dinners and invite family and friends over to enjoy the weekend. Well, to enjoy the day and
Yeah.
what's to come. Today is the first day of the week.
Okay. So, I mean, you call yourself Miss Love and Life, so that's what it is. So,
Absolutely.
how long have you started? And that's what I love because like I said, for this channel, I'm calling it like a quote unquote mental health channel, like a dump channel, like whatever is on your heart, mind to keep yourself from being bottled up. You just come here, you dump it out. Hopefully
Right.
you have a clear mind and feel better. But I love that you bring in a positive aspect. That it doesn't have to be bad all the time. Sometimes you just want to say, "Yo, like this person was really kind to me. They did X, Y, or Z for me." So that's what you're sharing. So
Right.
maybe people can
Absolutely.
learn that. So what made you come to to a pattern? How long you been doing your pattern?
Well, I've been doing this forever. I've always worked with kids and helping them in some form of fashion because that's just my heart. I love working with people and helping them, and then having my own family and realizing that this is the things that he's done for me, and he's always making sure I'm safe and everything
Okay.
works out for me the way it needs to. And I'm a 7 day Adventist, technically, but
Okay.
I feel like Sunday is the first day of the week. What better
Yes.
way to acknowledge Him on that day? Because technically, on the Sabbath day, we're not supposed to be doing any of that. So,
Okay.
if that day is based on just doing what we're supposed to do on the Sabbath day, then I say on Sunday, you party like it's no tomorrow because you're going into this week, you know, with
Okay.
a whole new week. Start over. It's a start over.
That's awesome. I love that. And we look like we have a guest, Chris J. Hi, Chris. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Oh, you're a man. Hey.
Welcome, welcome.
So what's Chris, what's your story, honey? So I'm not sure, but this is the Rock Bottom Cafe, and this is your dumping ground, Chris, where you get to share what's on your heart, mind, get whatever's bottled up or what you want to share. It can be happy, positive, it can be dark, but we want you to release what's on your mind and to
Well,
feel
it's a
better.
little different. It's a little different. Currently, I'm in the United States, obviously, but I'm on the run from parole.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hold
I'm
on,
just,
hold on, hold on, la 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 la
yeah,
la 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 la. You doing what?
yeah, I'm on the run from parole.
How long run okay. So I'm sorry.
So
You know what?
I was in another state,
Mm,
obviously.
mhm.
Um, I was already on parole for maybe about 5 years, and I have a couple years to go. but the living situation where I wasn't like up to. It was terrible, and
Okay.
Paul doesn't care. Like I was homeless, I was eating out of dumpsters. It was bad,
Oh no.
and I told them, and they said, "Well, figure it out like the best way you can."
Okay. So
So
Chris, how old are you approximately?
Wow.
Don't give me your exact age, but give me like a decade you're in.
early 30s,
In your early 30s. Okay. So what did you go to jail for to have parole?
assault and battery.
Uh,
My cousin, I had moved to that state or whatever, and a family member of mine had a boyfriend who was abusing her. I found out about it, and I did something about it. Obviously, she testified in court against me because she said I went
oh,
over the top.
well, I mean, so what lesson did you learn from that?
Oh,
I, you
say
Right.
know,
my business.
I know. I mean, but you did a very noble thing, right? Loving life. You did a very noble thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Men, I mean, and men these days, they don't have that protection over women like y'all used to back in the day.
Right.
So
Right.
is that right? Loving life, like these days, men are like, they want to punch us in the chest like they punch each other in the chest.
Right.
I don't share that sentiment, no, man.
So this is interesting. Teacher Chronicles, he asked or she asked, I'm not sure. I think it's probably a she. He's running away from the law. They want to know, are you running away from the law?
Currently, yes. My parole officer did contact me before I changed my number and my phone and everything, and told me to turn myself in. You know, they'll help me out when I get out there. But they said that when my situation first started, and then they
Mhm.
gave up on me. Like they basically said, "No, we can't help you." So I don't trust that. She said I'm not gonna do any jail time if I come back because she'll like make an excuse. It all sounded like BS to me. So
Right.
I'm not doing that.
So how long you think you're gonna be able to be on the run?
Well, where I am now, I have like contacts, connections, and things like that, and I plan on. Uh, it's in the works right now. I'm getting a little ID passport situation handled, and I'm going to go back to Jamaica.
Oh, so you have a nice plan B.
Oh, of
So
course.
so how do you plan? Okay, so okay, so if they were to catch up with you, how long would you have to go back for you think?
So that's
That's a good
the
question.
beautiful part of this is I could be gone or missing or whatever for 20 years. If they catch me, I do 6 months.
Wait, say
What?
that again?
Yeah, I
Exactly.
did. So they said okay. So for absconding, you get it. In that state is a 6 months charge, no matter what. Like basically, when they catch you, you have to do six. It's 6 to 9 months actually. I apologize, and this would be my first ever violation. So it would be 6 to 9 months.
Okay.
Okay. And how long did you do when you were in jail?
5 years.
Okay, wow. Okay, so let's start from scratch. How were
Wait,
those
wait,
five?
but I got a
Mhm.
question.
Yeah, go ahead,
Th-
baby.
Yeah, they wouldn't count that time for that. They wouldn't add that time to make that like done. Like that's it.
No, ma'am. So the reason being because absconding by is like the charge by itself. That would be what they would charge me with. It wouldn't like the longevity. None of that matters. It's the actual charge.
Okay. Okay.
And okay, and wow. And how much longer did you have? You said on parole
Three
left.
years.
You would have 3 years left.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so that means you would have to live 3 years of pure hell.
Basically, yes. And in a state where I have no family, no friends, no nothing whatsoever.
Okay, got you.
Wow.
Well, how would so I'm like how is this kind of burden to technically be on the run? What kind of feelings, what kind of burden is that on you watching your back all the time?
Where I am now, I'm in an apartment complex. For some reason, like two cop cars every 3 days comes through. I guess they're going through renovations and they're getting rid of people. But every morning when I see the cop cars, like my heart drops to the floor. I don't know. It's bad because I can't do anything. Like where I'm at right now, I can't really get a job. I have to like basically just make money the best way I can. I can't show my ID whatsoever. Like my identity right now, I am Chris J. That's obviously not my real name, but that's my name now.
Got it. Wow.
It's very stressful to be honest. It's very stressful.
So
Anytime I
what
see
would it
any kind of law enforcement whatsoever, like I keep my head down, and I am just like sweating bullets.
man? I'm thinking, what if you got an attorney to find a way to turn that around, or you don't want to take that risk?
No, to be honest, that's possible. I planned on, if the whole passport situation didn't pan out the way I planned it to, then I planned on contacting an attorney in that state and see what my options were. Um, like I said, I had good reason to leave, and as also the end of my term with my parole, I had to vacate that state anyway. So I'm going to see if maybe like I can, instead of doing time there, they would let me stay where I'm at now and let me just finish my parole here.
But
Wow.
but being outside and working,
Yes,
because
yes, ma'am.
that would be my thing. You know, if it were me, that would be my thing. Like saying, look, I want to get back into the real world. I've been out here all this time. I have been following the law since I have been out. You know, I haven't done anything. You
Hmm.
know, so I don't know how that works. I'm
No,
going on.
that no no.
I'm gonna be funny and realistic at the same time. I'm gonna go on God's grace because you never know. You may meet the right attorney who understands or know the law there to tell you, oh, I forgot. Yeah, you can do this. You may have to do, you know, 4 or 5 months, but then you have to come out and do, I don't know, city work or something. I don't know because I don't know
But well,
how
while
that
making the
goes.
decision to actually leave, I already prepared myself mentally to do more time just in case. Like I always have a plan A through Z, contingency plan for contingencies. Like I'm just like at this point, I know I'm playing chess, not checkers anymore. So I
Right.
already planned for every like aspect, anything whatsoever. I have plans for it, and I'm prepared for the worst, just hoping for the best.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I know, everything happens for a reason. First and foremost, I believe that everything does happen for a reason. And my worry and concern for you would be, God forbid, if you got caught, then wouldn't they be getting you for that time and more time? So of
So
course
by
my
what
suggestion.
Right, but what I understand, I would be able to fight that. But my status on parole before I had left, actually plays account to it as well. I have no like I said, I've been on for 5 years. I have zero violations, and anything they've ever asked me to do, I've complied. And I was told, even to my actual parole officer, that would help me out. So I'm kind of hoping that my good standing is there. Plus, like I said, I'm making money the best way I can, doing gig work, nothing illegal whatsoever. I've been living like straight and narrow. Besides being an absconder, I've been living straight and narrow, and I've lived a better life here than I have when I was there. So
Oh
I'm just
wow.
hoping that all those factors, if caught, those
These facts, or this is this something that somebody else has been telling you, or for a fact by you going over here, if you do this, it'll only be 6 months or 9 months, or somebody's
I've
telling
read
you
into
that.
the statutes of parole. When you get on parole, they give you like a little leaflet, a booklet or whatever, and like there's different statutes on absconding, and they warn you about it when you first get on parole. Like they tell you, if you decide to leave, you're going to hit you with a violation, but that's all absconding is a violation. And they said all violations, the first is 6 to 9 months. They said no matter how long you're gone, 6 to 9 months, no matter what the violation is, as long as it's not obviously not reoffending, like obviously I can't fight anyone or I'll do more time, a lot more time than that. But as long as I'm not reoffending, I'm just violating, then that's the only charge. That's the only thing they'll hit me with. Right now, I haven't done anything illegal except leave, and that's the charge that I'll get.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, this is absolutely I don't Woo. So
It was either tell you this story or how my fiance cheated on me with my father. So I had really a lot of things I could tell you guys today, but I was just might as well take this off my chest now.
yeah, okay. So yeah, so before we get into that, because we got to get into that, because that's really grimy. So
It's a lot worse than you think.
let's start from the beginning. How was your childhood, honey?
I grew up in foster care. It was bad, very bad, very very bad.
Really? So did you have both parents in your home?
I didn't have either one.
You didn't have so how were you born? Like how did that work out?
Oh, well, I mean, procreation, obviously. But no, I mean, like, I grew up in foster care. My mother was really bad, like, really, really bad on drugs. I was a spring break baby.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
But she was, like, really bad on drugs. My father was selling drugs at the time, so they met. That's how they met.
Right.
And that's just, yeah. So she didn't stop, obviously, when she was pregnant. I lived with her until I was 2, and then in foster care for the rest, and until I was about 9. And then I moved with my father's family.
Okay, so
Okay.
you did end up with some blood.
In a way, yes, and but that still didn't change the situation. I moved in with my father's family, but they moved me to another state. where I was being abused. They didn't even tell my father where I was, and I found out
Oh
he actually
wow.
cared. Like he actually cared that he had a son and what's going on. But I was being abused by them, mentally, physically, sexually. Like abuse was rampant in my life. That's really all I knew was protect myself.
Really? Now, how old were you when you started being abused? Like
For
that you remember, and who abused you
oh, that I
sexually?
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 4 or 5, and around that time, like, it was really early, like really early memory. So about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And who did the sexual abuse?
At that time, my foster father,
Oh,
and
your
that happened
foster.
until I was
Yeah.
8.
That is, let
Wow.
me ask you this. How do you, and Chris, how do you, and I know that's not your name, but how do you like move on? How do people move on in life when you had those horrible things happen to you? How do you go to school? How do you focus? How do you have a childhood? How do you play? How do you do that kind of stuff?
For me, that was always my escape. Like school was like okay. So at this moment in time, before I left, I was going for my doctorate. Like
Okay.
I'm not a slouch when it comes to education. That's the only escape that I had, really. Like when it came to life, like I would leave and go to the library. I would read, and when I would be yelled at or like I would be threatened, I would just read a book and go into that world. Like education was always so like important to me because it was the only thing that I had that couldn't be taken away from me.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Well,
So
that's
you okay?
amazing. So how were those teenage years?
Teenagers were amazing, to be honest with
R-
you,
Really? How so? That's you're the first person to say
because
that.
I'm a big guy. Like not obviously not fat. Well, I'm fat now, but at that time I was built. Like because I played football and things like that. So the
Right.
abuse stopped.
How tall are you?
I'm very short, 5'6".
Oh, we know. Never mind. We're not gonna get into all that because
Yeah,
I don't
no,
want to.
no.
I want to open you
Oh
up
yeah,
more.
right.
I got you.
We could talk after.
You're right.
Yes, yes,
Exactly.
More
Hi,
details.
honey, I'll be able to get all. Yeah, I get it all out in the wrong places. Yeah, we'll talk afterwards. Yeah. So you said you were a big guy, used to work out and all that. I mean,
yes,
so what
ma'am.
was that now? So
So
how did you?
the abuse stopped because I started threatening back. Like, oh, do this or I'll mess you up, and try me. Go ahead. Like I started putting my foot down because like I threw my weight around basically. I threw my muscles. I threw everything around. At one point, I got beat and I smiled at the person. It stopped because I became bold and I was like, you know what? I'm too big to be treated like a little guy.
Right.
Right.
So I just stepped up to my abusers. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm tired of that.
And
So
you sound
every
like you also tuned it out.
Yeah, and
You put it
I had
behind you.
to
Just
because I was
right. I
telling, like I
get it.
told people
I get
when I
it. I
was
get
younger.
it.
When I was in foster care, I told my social worker, I told his supervisor, I told everyone what was going on, and they said because my foster father was a cop, it couldn't have been happening. It was
Oh
definitely not
wow.
happening.
You know what? This is like so many stories, and it always involves the police, a cop, and like they never, anything never happens because they're so high up the hierarchy of society.
Right.
And I know that had to been so hard to want to, get some relief and to tell someone, and then they blow you off because someone is deemed more important in
Right.
status than you are,
I was a
especially being a
foster child. I
child.
was insignificant to everyone. That's how I felt, and that's how I was
Wow,
treated.
that is crazy.
I
Okay,
was
so
actually told your own mother doesn't want you. Why would we?
oh
So
my
Wow.
goodness. That was I still don't that
You
we
know
told
what?
that.
You doing this. Even you talking right now. Is
Mhm.
it's crazy brave. You know, because there are other people that'll be listening to this who's going through these similar situations or that's going through these situations, and they need to know, and that's the biggest thing, especially in the system. The kids, they do shut down. They don't want to, stand up for themselves. And that's like the biggest thing because they're being let down by all these adults. I
Right.
can't stand adults. I cannot
right.
stand them because they don't allow the child to speak. They don't give the child a chance to be them. You know, that takes away. And of course, that's the point. They're doing that so that they can take, take over. They saw when you were little, you gonna end up being something big and probably better than all of them. But of course, they don't want that, and it be the underdogs, the one that come up. Even in the situation you in now, if you can't handle your business, do what you got to do. Find out the timing that they gonna give you. Take it, get it over with, because you constantly running. That can kill you alone. You
Yeah.
know, even
Yeah.
at the age that you're at, that can kill you. You can't
Yeah,
even sleep
stress.
at night. You
Yeah.
can't. You can't tell me that you can. Don't, God, please don't let no police come in that apartment complex. You gonna be the first one hiding, and they there, just to give some old lady some flowers. So you gotta be able to,
Definitely not lying.
get the
I agree.
information, you know, and this is when God works. Okay, I know you probably don't want to hear all that right now. I'm just saying this is when God works. Your minds get to going, getting somewhere and sit to yourself and think. Things will come up. Take your time, keep asking God, help me figure this out. Because somewhere in there is something for you, and it's a reason why you sitting down. Maybe it's a
Yeah.
reason why you need to be sitting. Maybe that's what's keeping you safe right now.
Yeah. You know
You know,
what? I
so
mean,
look at it like that.
yeah, even like if we're gonna go in the biblical sense, like so many people have been taken away under horrible circumstances. Like I always like to bring up Joseph, how he was
Don't do
take.
it, girl.
Yeah,
Not
you want me?
not Joseph.
You want me to go there?
Come on now.
I'm a little rusty, but God took him away for until like how many years to move him out the way so he can be where he needs to be
Right.
and to protect all the people up under him.
That's
His
right.
family and everyone like that. So or how many or what's another example how like Moses, for example,
Moses. Yeah, for
he
sure.
actually yeah he actually murdered someone. I mean, deleted someone, and then he had to go in hiding after that to get him to where he needs to be. The Mosaic law is
Right.
so you just never know. I mean, I
You
just
know
don't.
that's
Hmm.
that what you telling them is a good one. Maybe you need to check them out because in that they got through that. They got through it.
Hmm.
Just like you got a plan. So you can get through it. Just how
That's right.
fast can and I understand you still gotta live, you still gotta eat when you get out. I get that, I understand that. But
Mhm.
ain't no
And he,
telling who you gonna run into in
and
there,
loving and loving and loving life. Let's be real now. He's Jamaican. He want to work a lot of jobs. Now it's killing him not to be able to work.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yo, I'm not lying. I can't stay in this house all day.
But you
Uh,
listen. Let me give you some advice, and we're gonna go deeper into what you're saying because I really want because I don't want you to. I want you to at least find some peace of mind and some
Right.
solace in this moment. But uh, I don't know. It's just. I just don't know what else to say. Like,
so surprisingly
I
enough, right?
do.
I think I found a little peace in it because, to be honest with you, the first time in let's see, almost 10 years, I've actually woken up with a smile on my face. Like I haven't thought about harming myself. I haven't. I apologize for anybody that's like listening that has these issues, but I haven't cut myself in over 7 months now.
That's
Like
good.
okay, so
I feel
back up.
I'm in a
Okay,
better place.
back up. So you were into like self-deleting activities, basically.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
can't say certain things on YouTube.
Right. That's why I'm trying to censor myself a little. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Yeah, you're fine. So no, I'm just saying that's why I'm using the word self-deleting and stuff like that. So what went on? Okay, let me be real. Let me ask you a real question.
Yes, ma'am.
Before everything went down the way it was, what kind of lifestyle were you wild and
Oh,
reckless? Were you
that's a good one.
Yeah, like what and that doesn't mean anything. I'm just trying to get the
No,
whole
no.
scope. We're gonna
In
work it from
college,
the we're
yes.
gonna work it from the rooter to the tutor. So go ahead.
In college, I was very wild, the
Oh,
drugs,
oh, that okay.
partying, things like that. But once I got my bachelor's, the bachelor's
Hmm.
got out the way. I
So
really toned down.
you're a college educated brother.
Yes, ma'am.
And okay, so this is why you probably have that extra to be so savvy, extra critical thinking skills possibly.
Yeah, this is
Right.
why I said chestnut check in there. Yeah.
Exactly. Right.
Yes, ma'am. I don't lose in chess. So yes.
So okay, okay. So tell me this. So you said you were just, was it typical partying in college or you
Yeah, it
were
was
more the extra?
nothing over the wall. No criminal activity besides drug use, obviously. But besides that, it was just all partying. Party,
Okay.
obviously, I passed, and but I lived a regular life. But that's the wildest I've ever been. Like I just went to parties all the time, and I was at a school that was like I think the number two party school in the United States.
Hmm.
So that's really all I knew was study, pass, party.
Right. So how did you transition from, being the typical college student, studying hard, working hard and everything to having to go to jail for 5 years? Was that like a big culture shock or were you already dibbling dabbling in that law lifestyle?
No, it was a very big culture shock, and it like so in a way it was like actually living it was a lot different than seeing on the television, studying about it because I went to school for criminal justice initially.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So like studying it and like seeing it on television and things like that is completely different. It's not what you see on television. So that was the shock, not knowing or thinking that I'm going into something and it being completely different.
Right.
But no,
And
it was, that prison sentence was my first time ever having cuffs on me.
really, and
Yes, ma'am.
5 years. So what did you do for 5 years though? I mean, because that's pretty of a heavy duty for a first
Long
timer.
time.
You
I
might
was supposed to do 3 years. I was
you were
initially it was a 3 year sentence.
okay.
And I
Oh,
was
hold
going
on,
to do
hold on,
stuff.
hold on. So what kind of damage did this person get? I mean, he was beating the hell out of somebody, and you definitely was beating the hell out of him. So what was that beat down like?
He had his whole left all the ribs on his left side were broken, every rib.
Okay,
Um,
okay. Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I gouged his eye out. That's neither here nor there. But
Hold on, la. You got his does he have is he blind or they put it back in or
I have no idea. To be
you
honest with
said
you,
you was like, listen, I did my part. I'm done.
that's it. If it was she, then she's the only one that came to court.
I'm sorry. That's nothing to give the horn for, but that's kind of funny. He's like, listen, I did my damage. I'm out of here. I'm
That's
doing my
it.
five
Yeah.
Right.
years.
I didn't do any. I didn't look back at it. I did it. She complained about it. I said whatever, and then I ended up in court.
Oh my goodness. All right. So
Ooh,
yeah, I know, like we were like, woo.
boy,
So
you need to start your security business. That's what you need.
okay. I
Okay.
mean,
You
listen,
got a
he
lot.
was
I'm not even being funny.
yeah, he know
I
he
was going through it that week. Okay, it was a lot more going on with the girl situation. My fiance, it was a lot going on that week. So I just on it.
hold on. So during all this time, this is when you found out your fiance was dealing with your father?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is
Okay.
that? Do you mind? What was that about?
So our
What
anniversary, I'll start with our anniversary was on Valentine's Day. That's like I met
okay.
her on we started dating on Valentine's Day, but that was our anniversary. So I was working at the time, two jobs. I had come home, it was late at night, and I called her and I said, you know, I'm on my way, and she said, oh, I'm sick. I don't need you to come over here. I don't want you getting sick. You know, this is not, you know, I'm pregnant and you know, I'm going through it right now. So you know, me in my
Oh,
head, I'm like, well, fine, whatever.
she
But
was she said she was pregnant?
yes, ma'am.
Was she?
Yes, ma'am. She is. So we have a daughter now. She just turned 9. She just turned 9 a couple weeks ago. Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
So she's pregnant for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
After,
proceed.
now, when she
Proceed.
first had the baby, I didn't know because of the situation.
Right, of course. But I mean, but still, uh-huh. Go ahead.
Right. So I didn't care what she had to say. Like I wrote her a poem. I had this big teddy bear, all this
Oh,
candy, and I was gonna sing to her. So, you know, I was, like I had everything planned out. So I said I'm gonna
right.
show up anyway. She was living with her sister and had a key because I was paying her rent. So
What?
So
Go
I
ahead.
showed up and her sister sees me first and she's like, oh crap, you know, she expletive, you know, insert expletive.
Right.
So I'm like, what's going on? She's like, oh, nothing, she's upstairs. Don't go up there. She said she's going through it right now. So obviously I said, no, whatever. Went right upstairs, opened the door, and my father was there. And they were
Is
in the middle of something.
and this is the same foster father that
No,
abused
this
you
is
when
my
you
birth father, my actual father.
Oh, so I got a
okay.
question. May I ask a question? But the baby is yours.
Yes, we had a
Oh,
DNA test while I was locked up, actually.
okay.
Yeah, I was reading the comments. The drug dealer is my father. Yes.
Got it.
Okay, so let me ask you, so how long had your dad been back in your life when this went down?
At this point, I think I was 23. I had known him since I was 16.
Okay, so he came back in your life when you were 16, and
Yes, ma'am.
then and this is okay. And how long did they have this affair for that you know of?
When he admitted to it that same night.
Oh, really? Yeah, with his shorts down? Yeah. Yeah, he did he?
No, as I drove him home,
You drove him on what, to gouge his eyeballs out, or what? Did you drive him home for what? What do you mean?
he asked for a ride home. So I said, "Sure, give me the car."
Hold on, back up. Hold on.
Yeah,
You making my head hurt. Okay,
that's
so
the same thing my family said.
okay,
You drove him home. Yeah.
okay, so after all, so how did you respond? How was that moment when you saw your girl, your pregnant girl with your baby in her belly with the man that gave you life? How was that moment?
I was as calm as I've ever been in my entire life. Okay, I put
Okay.
everything, I set everything down right in front of the on the foot of the bed. I told them at first, initially, I said, "Y'all have a great day. Y'all enjoy yourselves." Walk right up the house, and about 5 minutes later, as I'm sitting in the car, he runs out. But I was as calm as I've ever been.
And so
Wow.
Teacher Chronicle asked, did he not have a car?
No, he didn't. My father, okay, at that time, like initially, at first, he was selling drugs. He got out of that lifestyle, so he was doing gig work, kind of like what I'm doing now. He was doing
Uh-huh.
gig work, so he was. It's sad to say he was broke. He had nothing whatsoever. He was at that time. He was staying with me.
Hold on, hold on, hold on,
I
hold
was
on, back
Oh,
driving him to
up.
during
work and
that
things like
time.
that.
Hold up. So your dad was living with you?
He was living with me. I would take him to
Oh,
work or whatever gig he would do. If he didn't have money for things like cigarettes, things like that, I would give him money. Like I was taking care of him. I was taking care of my father.
oh, that was good. With all that happened, you still forgave him
No, no,
Yeah.
she
and was
well, he
looking
no,
out for him.
he was saying before
No,
all
even
of
after the fact. Even after the fact.
because a hoe is a hoe, is that your mindset, or what was your mindset? I
To
mean,
be
like,
honest, so to be honest with you, like growing up in foster care, it makes you
yeah,
like
immune.
crave family, like crave
Okay.
some kind of
Right.
want, like to be wanted, to be accepted. And like I said,
Wow.
I met him when I was 16, and I came out to him that I was at that time I said bisexual, but I found out I was pansexual. There was a lot of things for that, but I
Uh-huh.
came out to him and he accepted me. Oh, son,
Okay.
I still love you no matter what. He said I've been looking for you all these years, and he showed me proof that he was trying. So like my father became my best friend.
Wow. So okay, how was the what was the conversation? Teacher Chronicles want to know what was well, I mean, well, they didn't ask, but I want to know why was that drive home? What did y'all talk about?
We didn't talk. We just listened to music.
Okay. So did y'all ever
And
talk about it?
no, when we got to the house, he said, "Oh, it's been going on for about a year."
Wow.
What?
He want to
He
tell
just
more.
he kept apologizing. I bought him a beer, and we just watched movies for the rest of the night.
Seemed like
So
being in
how
foster.
I know I got a question. So how did you sleep that night?
I did, and I cried.
I
Mm.
understand.
I broke down. Like it wasn't one of those just simple tear coming down. It was that
Yeah.
first butt whooping cry that
I
Right.
know. Oh,
It's okay.
yeah.
baby. The
So are
the
you and the baby mom? I mean, you guys are cool
Yeah,
now?
like, yeah, how did you handle her when this first happened? Zach, that's a good question. Living, love, and life. How did you handle her?
I told her like the wedding is off, engagement is off. I broke up with her, and I just
Yeah.
told her like when the baby is born, we have to get a DNA test if it's mine. Co-parenting is the way to go. That's it. But I didn't show any like real animosity towards her. I converted everything into depression. Nothing towards aggression.
Okay. Yeah, and that's a good what you brought up because Teacher Chronicles just asked, do you have mental health issues now or just in general?
I've had it before that. I'm schizoaffective and bipolar,
Okay, and how
and I have PTSD due to other things.
right, of course, everything you've gone through. So, how what was the moment where did you have like a mental break for them to diagnose you, or what went on for them to diagnose?
When I was 9 years old,
Okay, and what
I
happened?
know the night, the second, like I know the exact moment it started and everything for me.
Tell us about it.
When I was I told you about my at that time my foster father was still abusing me.
Right.
That's the year that it stopped, and this is the situation that stopped it. I was he and a couple friends were at the same time doing that, and
Hold on, back up. I'm sorry. Your foster father had other people involved in abusing you?
yeah, he was okay. So my foster father was. Am I allowed? Can I say the state? He was NYPD, but he was like very like high up. So he had like guys under him that would come to the house all the time. They would drink and chill and all that. And then I was the extracurricular activities afterwards.
Got it.
What? So they basically had you as like the party favor?
Yeah,
Got
And this is more than one cop doing this to you?
it was more than two. Yes,
Oh my so you don't so no you know what, no wonder you have zero problems of not dealing with them in a kosher kind of way
yeah,
because you never had a good relationship with them and that you
right.
don't believe they have integrity.
at all. The regular
Oh,
people like us, they're screw ups like us. They're liars. They're deceitful. Like there's nothing. I've never had like you just. I've never had any good running with anyone that wears blue.
yeah. Teacher Chronicle asks, is your foster father still alive?
No man.
Okay. How did he die? I'm afraid to ask.
Next question.
Okay, so yeah, I kind of figured that. I kind of figured that wasn't a question I was gonna get a good
Yeah,
answer on.
let's not go into that part right now.
Right? Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure this. I'm pretty sure the answer is satisfying, but it's not a good question.
Very.
Okay, so that you and your father, as in your real dad, back to the girl, your the mother of your child, did y'all discuss it may be your baby, it might be your baby? Did y'all have that kind of conversation or
No, I wanted to talk to him about it so bad, but he like I brought it up one time and he avoided it, so I just stopped. I avoided it at that point. Like after every talk about all talks about the baby was between her and I. Like he stood out the way. He got out the way altogether.
okay.
Right.
Okay. Well, you know what? You have okay, so all of this happened and then the domestic violence happened with your relative. You said your cousin?
That's real.
Okay. And so all of this happened in what time frame did all of this happen at one time? So basically you had like a super storm of bad events that happened to you at one time.
Basically, yes, ma'am. And like
Uh,
because once like I said, she was already pregnant right before I got locked up. My daughter was born. Like I think 3 days before I got locked up
for
Okay.
the
for the
for the
assault.
for the 5 years.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Wow. Okay. So how was okay? So back to your sexuality. So when did you realize that you were what's pansexual exactly?
Um, to my knowledge, because this is something new, it was something new to me. So
Okay.
to my knowledge, it's basically knowledge. Like intelligence turns me on. Intelligence is what like makes me attracted to people.
Okay.
Like if I can sit down and have a meaningful conversation with you, then
Mm-hmm.
that means the world to me. That's everything
Mm-hmm.
to me. And like sexually, like that's it really. Like if I'm interested in you and I'm interested in your mind, you have interesting concepts, and like we can kick it and vibe, then I am all for you. That's all I care about. I don't care what your gender is, male, female, transgender, like that doesn't matter. As long as I can sit down and I can speak to you, then we're great. We're good.
Okay.
That's
So
good.
let
That's good.
me ask both of y'all a question. We're gonna come back to you, Chris. But I want to ask you, Chris, and Love and Life.
Yes.
Before y'all both came on, I was the smortion. You know what I'm trying to say? Not it's
Uh huh.
smortion. Okay.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. I got that from the movie. But how do y'all feel about that? Do y'all think that's an individual choice that to be made, or do y'all think it's a society choice to preserve the integrity of our culture and to keep, things
Individual
going?
choice.
Hmm.
Yeah, your own. I believe it should be your own choice
Yes, ma'am.
because and the main reason why is no offense.
Yeah, especially with
Look
you
what.
loving life because
Yeah.
you're very much into your faith and everything like that.
Right. But I am. But I also believe that it
Hmm.
is your choice. Because at the end of the day, God gives us a choice on everything that we do, and
Mm, amen.
just like his situation,
Hmm.
you know, if as a parent, if I know that my child can come into this, like let's just say, you know, his mom, I mean his, the let's just say his dad knew that the foster parent, let's just say he knew the foster parent and knew that they were like this.
Okay.
God forbid, he may have felt like, I may have this, I'm gonna have my son, but if I can't take care of him, I'm gonna let Johnny take care of him. And come to find out, Johnny is like this. You know,
Right.
I'm not gonna keep that baby because I can't handle it, and I know I don't have nobody here to help me through that, and I don't want him to have to go through what, Chris is going through. And this is,
Hmm.
I even was talking about that this weekend. Well, yeah, this weekend with my kids. Like, how
Hmm.
did they even feel about it? And and they were, they gave their opinions, which were really, really good opinions, on how they, how they took that, how they took what was going on. And and
Right.
for me, that's like the biggest thing. A child is, it's a big responsibility, and I'm so worried now that it's not a choice anymore. I look at
Yeah.
the, it's a plus for the system because now you're going to have more children that's going to end up being in the system, or more deaths because people may not be able to get rid of these babies. They may end their own life because they can't, you know, just do that. So
What were you
I
saying,
don't, I,
Chris?
I believe
Oh, I'm
that's not
sorry.
a good thing.
No, I agree. No, I agree. And also, like when it comes to the death part too, like I know, I have one example. One person I went to high school with, she had a misfortune or whatever, but she did it like the street way, and it caused her
Right.
a death. So like
Mm,
them making it illegal or whatever's going on right here, like it's only opening the door for more mess ups, for
Yeah.
bad situations,
Right. Even the children that might be born, because some people may be trying to do all kind of stuff to get rid of them, and that
yeah.
baby still come.
and it doesn't work right.
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 And
Exactly.
now look, now you got a generation, you done bowed out, but now this child is here going through the system messed up like this because
Yeah. I too
and he didn't
believe.
even have to be here, and he didn't have to be here for that.
Yeah, I too believe how y'all both believe. And what bugs me the most about this decision is like all of the rich people who are voting and all of the conservatives or whoever that does not believe in abortion. I mean, excuse me, abortion rather. You best believe if something happened to their daughter or something happened to one of
Oh,
their
they got a
mistresses.
doctor somewhere.
Exactly. And
They
it's
got the
not
funds.
and no.
They can go right down to Cuba and get it done. They have funds for that.
Yeah, they have to fund. They don't even have to go to Cuba. They're gonna get a doctor to do it for them, and they're gonna put it under a different billing code, and then
Mm,
that's how it's gonna play out.
yes,
Or I
ma'am.
mean, so this is crazy. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out. But back to you, Chris. So Chris, I mean, you're so resilient. You are
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
strong. I mean, so how was your first day
Absolutely.
in jail? Do they really try you in jail? Or like how does that is it the culture really what they perceive on TV or what
Me,
people
not
say?
so much. For me, not so much because where I was at that time, the state that I
Go get
was in,
some water.
I was staying with family at the time, and that's the only reason why I was even in that state.
Right.
Where my cousin was, and my family, my cousins, and they're all well known in the area. So going in, a lot of people already knew who I was because I
Okay.
already got the call forward. Oh, my cousin's coming in. Look out for him. Like
Right.
prison is the reason why I got fat. I was eating
Uh,
commissary every day. Never
yeah.
ate jail food, prison food, none of that. It was commissary, and outside food.
Wow. What do you think about Teacher Chronicles saying that you hit every hole? I don't. I mean, what is? I mean, but you worry about the mind. You're not worried about the hole per se, right? Listen, listen. This is YouTube, so
So,
you gonna get some stuff sometimes.
so,
Right.
so I no, I get that question all the time. Oh, you're in there, it's perfect for you. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Because I apologize, but I realized going to prison that the world is full of idiots. Like there's so much ignorance and stupidity. I wasn't attracted
Yeah.
to a single person in there.
Oh, you know what? That would have been hell. I mean, it's a lot of politicking going on. So there weren't anyone who was mentally inspiring to you, no matter
Not
what.
even, no, not where I was. No, man, no, no. Like I
You
hear the stories all the time. Oh, my bunkie or my cellmate, all these speeches and the enlightened Muslim guy.
Yes.
I didn't get any of that. They were all young guys talking about hitting licks and doing this and doing that.
Right. Rapping. They're gonna come out being a rap star or
But I'm
something in
telling
the
you, there
movie.
were so many rappers in there. I thought I was in the BET Awards.
I love
Oh,
it.
you stop it.
You
Oh
are too
God.
you are too funny. You say you always thought you was at the or what about the Source Awards
The
back in the
Source
day?
Award.
The Source
There we
Awards.
go. Because they were underground rappers, gangster rappers. There you go.
Yeah, they were the freshman class. What's
What?
that
The
magazine
XXL
XXL
freshman.
freshman class?
Yes, man.
Let me stop before I get beat up one day. They say, "Yeah, what was up all those jokes you had?" Like, yikes.
Oh
Well,
my
okay,
goodness.
so let me ask you this. So, everything is all said and done. I mean, as in with, what you're going through right now.
Yes, man.
And why did you what is it you wanted from this to be able to share? What is it that you're looking for? Or what is it that you wanted to experience or what's your angle?
Oh, for sure, my story today.
Yes.
To be honest with you, nothing. I don't expect to get anything out of it except just to get off to speak to someone about it because I can't. I don't want to speak to anyone around here, like outside about it. I don't know if I
No.
can really trust, and
Right.
but it's just a lot on me. And to be able to just say, you know what, hey, I'm on a run. To say it out loud to someone, like it makes it more realistic to me now.
Right. And so how
But I
does
didn't
that how
expect
does
that,
that
bro.
how does that feel to you to hear your own voice say, I am on the run? I have to look
That
over
part to
my
me is just
shoulder.
depression. Is depressing actually,
Yeah.
to be honest. But the outcome altogether is liberating. But the words and the meaning is depressing to me.
But can I
Yeah.
say something?
That's fair.
Even like I'm hearing what you're saying, but you also in your conversation you was telling us your way out.
Right. So I looked into it, and the two places that I like decided like I'm from, not from. I wasn't born there, but I even have family in Jamaica,
No,
Jamaica and
don't
Antigua.
don't no, don't give us none of that.
Oh, I'm not worried. Oh, yeah,
Not
yeah,
right
I'm
now.
sorry. Right, right. So the places that I chose outside of this realm is like
Mhm.
there's no extradition laws. So
Right.
once I get there, I already have an established housing. Both places I have a gig waiting for me. I have a job waiting for me, and one of them, like I already
Yeah.
have, like I said, the plans ahead. I have a way out already, but I do want to make sure that that's what I need to do. So before I choose to leave and make that move, I'm going to do the whole like call a lawyer and see what I can do to avoid having to do that.
Right. Because how would be honest with you, how is so many people that go and they cross, back over to where they were born or where they're from. And for some reason, they always try to come back to the United States.
Why?
I don't that's why I'm about to ask you, have you done the research on why people want to come back or you don't want to, be in that situation where you have regret and and your situation is getting worse and worse by the moment here, you know?
So I look. The reason why I never really thought about that is because I know I don't understand. I don't know where a regret would come from. I used to go out there and visit. I used to go out there and visit. Like in
Mhm.
my teenage, my adult years, I would go to visit my family out there. I apologize, my family out there, things like that. And I
Right.
would never want to come back. Like I had to come back for school, things like that. But I never wanted to come back.
Wow, really? Okay.
And they call this a land of opportunity. Opportunity to do what? To fail?
You
Like I'm
know,
okay where I was.
You know what? This is wild that you said that because I've met people from like back in the day coming to the United States used to be such a big deal. And
Right.
now like people like from Nigeria or just like even from like Russia and places or whatever, they come here for like a few months at a time and they go back home because they said the United States is so expensive that they
Yeah.
make their money here. They
And
all
they
kind
take
of
it back home.
they take it back home because it stretches longer. So they kind of live all together here, save up their money here, and then they take it back home because America is not is not easy. It's not easy to live here. Everything is so freaking expensive.
Right. Right. Like you pay to eat out. Like you have to pay to eat out. You have to pay for like the basic human like needs, and that's so
Right.
crazy to me. Like everything has monetary value to it. You have to pay to breathe now.
Yes, I know. Oxygen is not free. You right about
Not at
that.
all.
Right. And
Man.
so Teacher Chronicles asks, what about your child? Like I'm because you can't that's a liability in a way of giving up where your location and stuff of that
So
nature.
earlier you had asked the question, but we never got into it. You
Mhm.
asked me how I think, or you had started. You were asking about my relationship with my baby mother at the time.
Right.
So her and I now at this point are like great. Like we're perfect. Like we're great. Like we're both single, but like we see each other every once in a while. We have like a situationship going on.
Hold on. Oh, so y'all still smash.
Yes, ma'am.
But so how was the sex? I mean, because but
I think
clearly
that's self
For me to go back, it
explanatory.
had to be good, right?
I think that's self explanatory. We're not gonna even ask that.
no, we gonna put it. Well, listen, this is the dump channel. We dumping it all out, okay?
Well,
And
the
whoever watches,
best.
okay, because whenever they watch the replay, they going that's a question. What was the sex like? Because I mean, you still chill with her, but do you trust her to know where you are?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Her and I had that talk when I first had made the decision,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, you know, I asked her, I said, you know, if I told you where I was, would you tell her? Like she's known since I've left,
Yeah.
and I haven't run anything so far. I even made her mad at one point a couple of days ago, and I
You
was like,
say you
oh,
haven't what?
I got her mad at one point a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh,
Mhm.
she's going to call, but then she called me and said, oh, and don't worry about it. I'm not calling the cops because I'll never take you away from your child the way you took
Aw.
yourself away from her.
Can I say
Aw.
something?
Yes, ma'am.
And I
I'm sorry.
always do that.
Yeah.
My opinion, when you do decide to go, if you decide to go, I personally would probably give it 12 to 24 months. I'm not kidding. Where if my children are coming out to see me, have them meet me at a location through a whole nother entity or something
Oh, like
before
I said,
just,
I already have all of that planned out because they're
yeah.
coming with me. They're coming with me, but
Okay.
we're habitating. We're gonna not cohabitate. Like we're gonna be in two different areas. Like we already have
Okay.
all that set aside. She's gonna be staying with my family. I'm gonna be staying with another entity. Like I already have. We have that planned and plotted out, mapped out, and everything already too.
Okay.
Just be careful. You know, your
Yes,
heart is
yes, yes, ma'am.
big, and I get you want to forgive and forget. Um,
Yes.
but you have, you know, I'm gonna be honest. Don't be stupid. You
Yeah.
know,
No, no, no. I understand. Yes,
Yeah.
it's
ma'am.
your
Yeah.
life. At the end of the day,
Yes,
it's your
ma'am.
life, and if you're choosing to make these decisions, and I get it, you have kids and stuff, you know, and stuff like that. You have to take all that consideration. And if just you telling me that personally, I'm gonna say I probably have been like, you know what, I'm gonna turn myself in because I'm not finna risk this happening, and I put my last resort here, and I still ended up in this place when I could have just went on, knocked it out, stayed in California because I don't know where you at. I'll say California where I can do this and that and the other, and now be free. Just start over and do it
Right,
right.
right.
You
And
know,
like I said, I had
and
that
it
thought
sounds
to
like
like
that's
to
what
do
you're
it the
trying
right
to do
way.
now. It
Right.
sounds
I
like
had that thought
that
to
is
do
what
it
you're
the
trying to
right
do.
way.
Right,
My only thing is I want to contact the lawyer first because I have like conditions. Like
Right.
if I am able if I do have to turn myself in, am I able to move my parole to a different state? Because the state that there was it's the state that I was in that was causing me so much grief and so much that was the terror was the state that I was in. If I'm able to go back to the state that I was raised in, like that was actually where I have people, I have a support system, then
right,
that's okay. Then I'll turn myself in. I'll do it tomorrow. And they tell me I can come where I'm at now. If they tell me I can go back to where I'm comfortable, I'll turn myself in tomorrow. But
right.
I need to know for sure that I'll be able to leave when I'm after I do my time.
So let
Because
me
that's what happened the first time. I got stuck there.
so let me ask you this: what was so bad? I knew you said at the beginning, but you didn't. More details. What was so bad that you had to get away? What was going on?
So at that time, around the time I had left or whatever. For a couple months, like I was dealing with this girl who made me lose my job, the only job that I could get. Um, I had lost my housing because of her, so I lost
Mm.
her. I got rid of her. I was so attached to her that like my entire world revolved around her.
Uh
So
oh.
when I
Hold on. Hold
lost
on.
her,
Do you have codependent issues?
yes, ma'am, I do, and
Okay.
I can easily admit to that. Yes, I do.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, like I said, once I got rid of her or lost her, I lost everything. Like I didn't have any funds coming in whatsoever. I had, financially speaking, I was broke, poor, whatever you want to call it. I had nothing. I had no food. I had no like I couldn't apply for food stamps because of
Mm-hmm.
her. Like I had nothing. I had no resources whatsoever. In that state, they don't care. Once you
Yeah.
have a felony, and once you have a felony, like that's it for you.
And
Okay.
what went on with you and her where it got so toxic? What happened where she stripped you of everything, or or you were open up to it? What happened? What was going
So
on?
I found out I had known her when I first got out
Okay.
of prison, and I had known her for a little while. You know, we were friends. Then we became that bro and sis kind of thing. You know, because at that time she told me, "Oh, I love you," but she was with somebody else,
Okay.
and they ended up having like this big argument, whatever. They were homeless, so I figured, you know what? She told me she loved me. You know, I was falling in love with her. Just come stay with me. It's okay. And that's how we started dating and everything like that.
Okay.
So at one point she started working because like I said, she had made me lose my job. She came to my job and was cursing up a storm. She was just like throwing things. She attacked my manager.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
man, it was
No.
bad.
But
Like
why would she do
she hit the
something like
ultimate
that?
ratchet move right there, and it was just bad.
Hold up, that's a good question, Love and Life.
Come
Why
on, be
so
honest. With a
yeah,
phone
yeah.
call, another female, nobody just gonna fly off the handle
Yeah, come on, be
for
honest,
nothing.
be straight, be straight.
Oh,
What
why did
Just
she
happened?
be
do it?
honest. It was
Yeah,
my
why she
fault.
wilding out? Why she wilding out? Yeah, why she what you do? What you
Come on.
do? What's up?
You're gonna laugh because I bought her daughter a birthday present.
Come
Wait,
on
you
now.
did what?
Tell us the real truth.
No,
Tell us
that's
the real
it.
story.
I'm being as honest. I'm keeping 100 with you. There you go. Keeping 100 with you. I bought her.
Uh-huh.
She told me she didn't have any money to buy her daughter a birthday present. But her
Okay.
daughter had called me and asked me for a bag, like a little book bag. And I feel
Uh-huh.
like it was for school, so I'm not gonna say no to her. So she felt embarrassed because when I sent the book bag, I said from stepdad. So she was like,
Mhm.
Okay.
so she came in. She said, "Oh, you trying to take my daughter from me, and this, and that." She was like, you went behind my back. I told you not to send her anything. Like that sounds stupid. Why would I not? If I had the
Okay.
money and I told her like that's your daughter, that's an extension of you. I care for you, so I care for her. And that's all I kept saying. And she was like, "Oh, f that, f this. Like you should have gone behind. You should have did this. You should have did it. Cause I told you not to." And
Okay,
it was
but
stupid.
it's something. But you know, I'm not siding with anybody, but I see you really do got to listen to what people are saying. Some people are very, they're like that about their kids,
Yeah, I understand that.
and let's break it down. You can plan exactly. You understand why,
Yes.
so you have to
In
be
hindsight, I see where she was coming from.
right, just and
I
that's
mean,
keeping, you know,
but she was clearly unhinged because even if she was being a protective mother bear, she took it too far. You don't go to people and act ratchet and toss it up and contact the man. You don't do all of that. So she was obviously a little unhinged and had mental health issues. For her to react like that because that was not the proper reaction. You know,
Undiagnosed, but yes, you're right. Mental health issues.
right?
Yeah.
So anything
okay.
else you want to share, huh? I mean, because you went, I mean, I find it absolutely amazing that you went through a scenario where you didn't have your mom and dad at first. What's going on with your mom? Did you ever have a relationship with her?
No, not really. I tried to. That's why I was in. That's why I was in the state I was in because I
Uh,
found out that she was staying in. Like she lived in that state. Her sister
mhm.
and her aunt had contacted me and said, "Oh, your mother's staying with me. You want to meet her?" So I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." And I went out there to go see her, and that's when the whole situation happened with my cousin. And yeah, but that's why I got. That's why I was out there.
And y'all never formed a bond or anything necessarily?
When I saw my mother, the first thing she asked me was for $20. She didn't say anything to me.
Wow.
I asked her why she did what she did, and she lost all. I have 12 sisters. She lost all of us,
Oh,
and
wow.
it's like I asked her why. Like, what was the drug so important? Was crack so important to you?
Yeah.
And she was like, you got $20 I can borrow?"
Oh my gosh. But you know what? Just like you went through all of the things you've gone through, you maybe you don't know what all the things she's gone through and she's using drugs as I'm not saying it's right. And as adults, we should behave as adults and protect our children, but maybe that's her way
Didn't
of
know how to
escaping the
do that.
drugs.
That was her way of coping.
I was young and ignorant towards addiction at that time. At this
Yeah.
point, I forgive her. I do. I'm like,
Very
my
good.
entire life, I blamed her for hell. I blamed her for
Yeah.
everything I went through. But now, as a 30-something-year-old man, I know what addiction. I know what addiction is,
Yeah.
Right.
Do
and
you
so I can't fault her. And I found out that she didn't really start doing the drug on her own accord. So
what does that mean? Like
her
someone
her older brother laced her. She was smoking weed. My mother
yeah.
was 22 years old and smoked weed for the first time at 22. And her older brother laced her blunt. And at that point, like she didn't know what it was, but she was so like, I guess it made her feel so good. She
You're
kept
right.
going back to him for more and more. He finally admitted what it was, so she just started asking for that instead.
Wow. I mean, when you hear something like that, you have to forgive.
Right.
And then you never know what made her feel so good, what memory she was suppressing because of that or whatever to make her keep wanting to get that feeling of, numbness.
Oh yeah, I found out she went through the same things that I went through. The
Yeah,
exact same thing.
it's a vicious cycle. It is a vicious cycle and
Right.
we're supposed to do better for our children, but life is life and it's not necessarily like that. So let me ask you this. Where are you in the process of healing? Because you had the codependent situation, that have you in a just a lot of stuff going on, and which is natural because you've gone through so much. Okay, bottom line,
Right.
period. Where are you in your heal? Have you tried to heal? Have you tried to seek therapy? Have you tried to get help? Where are you with that?
I used to attend therapy. It was hard to because I was in so many such and such anonymous courses like Sex Addiction Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, Drugs Anonymous. I was in so many of those like groups that I didn't want to be in therapy. Like I didn't want to
Right,
go to individual like grief therapy, all the other thing, none of that. I didn't want to be associated with that because I was so grouped out. Like I was so grouped out, I didn't want that anymore.
right. Wow, that's that. You know what? You said something so profound. You were so grouped out. You can't think of not one more group. And this is
Okay.
right this, but this point, this is the most important group. So
Right. No matter how
y-
much I knew I needed it, I was like, do I really want to sit and
I
do this
know.
again for another 6, 7, 9? No, I don't. I can't. I couldn't at that point. Now I see. I probably need it. I definitely need it now. But like, like I said, I was grouped out. I couldn't do it anymore. And when it was offered to me, and offered to me for free, like we would give you all this help. We'll give you all this. Like we'll even have the therapist come to your house if you need them to. I didn't want it anymore because I didn't want to do a group anymore. That was too much.
Right. What is your foundation? What is your base? Like loving life, and myself, we both have our faith as our baseline to kind of keep us grounded.
Hmm.
Like what is your base? Like what do you hold on to? What do you look to keep yourself from going crazy with all the things, all the hell you gone through?
It's the combination of my parents and you know what? I can't say a combination. It's my life to be honest with you. And knowing that I have a daughter, I do not want her to go through a single moment of what I went through, not even
Yes.
a second of that. So I make sure that I'm able, like, even now, like I said, like I'm doing gigs to work. Even if I don't have money, I make sure she has an amazing life. I don't care what.
Good.
Even when I was in another state, I would make sure like she was good. I can't quit and I can't give up. I can't lose because I don't want her to have like to grow up without a single like I don't have a mother or father. She can't grow up with just a mother. She can't grow up with just a father. She has to have both parents. And
Wow.
I know that sounds altruistic, like to say
No,
have
that's
a perfect life.
amazing. I love that. That
That should
love
be a priority. Yeah. Absolutely.
because a lot of times we don't think about, even in the best of situations, we think, okay, I can do it myself. You can do it yourself, but we don't think about, the best of having a
The solution
relationship
for the
Right.
baby.
with
Right.
for the child, keeping everything kosher, like you and your, you love your child so much, Chris, that you are willing to put yourself on the line by sharing what you're going through with your ex, with the mother of your child, to stay close to your child.
That's
I
right.
Right.
mean, if it was me, to be honest with you, like you taught me something. Like if it was me, I probably would have been quote unquote selfish and not meaning to be selfish. But what I learned is a lot of times when you want to keep a secret, the only person you can tell is your damn self.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? But in your case, you have no choice because you have to have support to get
You
from
need
point
it.
A to point B,
Right.
you know? But you went further to have that relationship with your child, to trust the mother of your child. And that's so
Right.
Yeah.
much to
One of
be.
one of my associates told me, he said, "Oh, if I was in the same situation, I would have just disappeared." He said, I'm on child support because of the state we were from. In order for her to get help, like she had to put me on child support.
Hmm.
So I was, he said, "You're on child support. You could have just disappeared. You could have just said, forget your daughter, forget your baby mother, go start a life somewhere else. You could have done all that. I could have. Yeah, I could have. But that's my
Right.
child. That's my
No,
seed. Like
no,
I
you
brought her into
couldn't.
this. I brought her into this world.
I from what we gathering, no, you couldn't have. Not
No,
you.
I feel a bad
You have.
responsibility.
You can clearly hear you have unconditional love. You've learned what that is.
And responsibility.
Yeah,
Right.
you
That's
got
something I
your.
cannot abandon. Abandon responsibility. That's not a
You said,
man. That's not a man's action.
That's
yeah,
right.
there you go. Anything else you want to release into the universe? And we doing this every Sunday. So, if you ever want to come and bomb on us and get it out
Yes.
that we are
We
here
right
for
here.
it.
That's
So instead
right.
of writing my book that I was going to do, I'm just going to come over here and talk to you guys because there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, anything you want to share today, or you just want to save it for later? Just
we
it
can,
kind of.
we can save it for later, and then you can go into the my book that's coming out in about 2, 4, 5 years.
Oh wow, you really should, because it's, you're such an inspiration, and I cannot imagine having that spirit of love and joy that you have after
Yeah.
all that you've gone through and all that you are going through. Like you're personifying being peace in the middle of a storm. You personify peace in the middle of a storm. You know.
So the reason why I'm like that is I know I said earlier education was my saving grace. I
Mhm.
also had one person on my side. Like once I met my father's side of my family, even
Mhm.
despite that abuse, I had one person that really pushed me and I was really there for me. Twenty like when I'm telling you, this woman, like, she saved me. She did, because I could
Okay.
have been like a product of my environment. I could have been a product of my situation, but
Yeah.
she made it so that she said, as long as you smile. My great grandmother, like, she said, as long as you smile, you have no worries in the world. That's it. She said, no matter what you're going through, you look at that situation, you smile, and then you think. You don't sit there and you don't act violently, you don't act out. You smile at the situation, and then you figure out how to make it better. So that's why,
Right.
even through I'm going through all of this, everything I went through, all I did was I looked at it, I smiled, and said, you know what? How can I stop that, and how can I make it sure that that doesn't happen again?
But and
Wow.
that's how you grow, and that's how you come out of these situations. That's
Yeah.
exactly that's you doing it. You're doing exactly right. I'm gonna tell you one thing. Since you like to read,
Yes, ma'am.
there's a book. This book was wrote in 1928, if I'm not mistaken. This
Okay.
book is called the game. It's called The Game of Life and How to Play It. Go on YouTube and listen to these stories. These
Game of Life.
stories are people how they've gone through things, ran across people like yourself sitting here telling us this information. We don't know who ear this may hit, where some attorney, some new lawyer trying to get out, hear
You
what's
never
going on
lie.
and say, you know what? I'm taking your case. You ain't going nowhere. We gonna sit down and we gonna figure out A, B, and C and get your visitations right, and you don't have to deal with mom. You get you do the paperwork where you got where it's custody for her and for you.
Right.
But you don't have to keep carrying that. You don't you and I'm telling you for free.
Love,
You do
loving,
not
loving life,
have to
loving
keep
life, loving
carrying that.
life, loving life. He
Yes,
wants
ma'am.
he still wants to bang the mom. So
No,
I
no, no,
mean,
no,
he's
no.
not
Let
gonna
me
give
tell
that
you
up.
something. Let me tell you. Let me no. Let me tell you something.
Hold
Now
on,
let me.
don't take away the candy.
No, 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 no,
Right.
no, no.
Wait.
I
Let's
need for
talk
you to
about
hear
not
this.
losing her first.
You know,
Yeah, yeah. My
if
bad. I got caught up in the real stuff. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
you know, if
In the
if this
nitty
is some,
gritty.
yeah, no, if this is somebody that he wants to be with, fine. But I'm just telling you for the record, some people feel like they have to be with that person to continue having that life with their child. You don't.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
not.
Right.
Do not. I don't need you to lock yourself down to that because it's not fair. I
Yes.
understand she did something in the past, but this is trust. These are lives that you toying with. I don't
Right.
know what
Yeah.
daddy was doing for her prior to maybe why she was doing that, but I will say this: loyalty is loyalty. Right is right, and
Right.
wrong is
And,
wrong.
and a zebra have their stripes and it never changes. A zebra is
Right.
always a
You
zebra.
know. Right.
I
You know.
mean,
And
That's it.
I understand people. People.
people can change, but certain things you don't violate and do. Certain lines you just don't cross. And that's just why I mean that's in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? You
That's
don't mess with your
right.
brother-in-laws, your daddy-in-laws, your
That's
mama-in-law.
right.
You certain things you just don't do. I
Right.
mean,
And I can. And
but at this end of the day, you do have, you did have the grace, just like we all given grace. You have the grace. You given her grace, and you still respect her as the mother of your child,
that's right.
and that's to be commended, honey. Okay,
Most
A
definitely.
billion percent.
because me and Love and Life, we want to go in on her, but we, but you cool, so we got to be cool. You know what I'm saying? So, if you like it, we love
We
it.
love it.
But but we want. But this is what the channel is about, to be real. And another thing I want to say before I forget, like I said, there's the only way to keep a secret is to tell nobody. So no matter, don't get chummy with no one in the
Oh no.
area. I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
only the minimum,
Only what's necessary.
the skim of the amount of people to tell. Okay,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
Yeah.
this is I mean, but I understand your case too, because at the end of the day, if something should caught, if they should catch up with you, from what you're saying, it's not gonna be too much of a extra backlash.
Yeah, no, no. It's
Nothing.
the crime seems more serious than it really is, as long as you don't commit another crime.
Right,
That's what that's
while
what they're
you're
worried
doing
about.
what you're doing. Right.
Right.
Yes.
Because because basically you're evading supervision. So they think if you evade supervision, that means you want to do something negative. That's the only reason why it is a crime, because like you're evading supervision. But if you don't
Right.
commit another crime, like if you and you can prove to them that you haven't done like anything wrong, like too bad, then you
Right.
only get the violation. They only get the violation part of it.
Okay.
Right, right. So that's why he's comfortable, and that's otherwise, he probably wouldn't, like I said,
Right.
keep it to himself and maybe one other person, like a Catholic priest or something. But
Right.
right,
And I found out the best part is that because of where I am, not because of where I am, because of how parole was in the United States,
uh
the
huh,
warrant like, there's warrant out for my arrest, obviously, where I was, but not
right,
where I am. Like there's no like nationally is there's not. So the only way
okay,
I could get caught is if a cop out here stops me and runs my name on a national database.
okay,
Like, and so that means like that because that state has to say, hey, yeah, he's one of ours. So there's no warrant out here for my arrest. So like literally, I can show my face everywhere. Obviously, you can't use my name because then if someone runs my name, then oh yeah, that's bad. But my face
right,
is okay out here, and like that's the only like I'm saying that's the good part about it is that I can hide in plain sight
right.
as long as I
Got
stay
you.
with my p's and q's and stay like within because as long as I'm a law abiding citizen. I don't see. I'm not in any real harm, any real threat to being caught.
Right, got
Okay.
you. All right. Well, this was good. I hope this was somewhat therapeutic for you. And like I said, you can't conquer Rome in a day, but if you ever want to come back through and listen in and, share some more and give commentary, it's just good to be a community and to
Yeah.
share our thoughts and ideas. Because to be honest with you, you have taught me, just from a little bit about grace, and do
Man.
in the bigger picture. And the bigger picture for you is, you have to trust and put yourself on the line more so you can keep in contact with your daughter.
Yes,
You know
ma'am.
what I'm saying? And so that is like that is what you call sacrifice. And I commend you on doing that. Really, really do.
Thank you.
And I commend you on, be able to speak about it. And Teacher Chronicles say, wow, I enjoyed this story. So yeah, this was hot. And love and
talking about it, yeah, I guess, but living it, not too much.
no, I know exactly. And love and life, I appreciate you. You always bring as you can tell, I'm the type. I'll probably go off the rails, but you keep me grounded, so I appreciate it. Because
Yes, I
Oh, no
appreciate you too, man.
problem.
because if it wasn't for you loving life, I'd probably just be asking him about his sex life. What's so good with the sex, and why he keep going back. I'll probably do that for that last hour.
That's a
So
whole nother book.
So wait,
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's a
no,
whole
no.
nother book. We don't need to get into
You're
that
right.
one.
Wait, so
Ooh,
yeah,
ooh.
I want to touch on the book when we go off. I just got a few questions to ask.
Of
But
course.
so yeah, so are you available?
Yes, ma'am.
You said
Listen,
I'll just throw
listen,
that out there.
Define
But
available.
okay.
listen, loving life. He's a good man, but he's still a man. Okay,
Right.
so he's gonna keep this answer as ambiguous as possible.
As
Okay?
Right.
possible.
I'm seeing.
No, to your credit, man. I am.
No, do a clap with that one.
Okay. All right. So, Chris, please stay on because we want to talk to you just a little bit more, and we want to talk to you about maybe doing like an ebook. So, while you have the time and
Yeah.
everything,
Of course.
instead of like trying to get in a big old book on, you can just write
That's what I was
everything
gonna
out.
talk about.
Exactly. So we'll do that. So anyway,
Yeah.
so this is the Rock Bottom Cafe. This is where you come and get a double shot of reality,
Yeah.
how real it is, and we're gonna give it right back at you. And we just want you to feel therapeutic, feel better, and just have this as a place of just letting it all out, let it into the universe. And I hope that Chris today that you got some semblance of getting something off your chest. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I have. Yes, ma'am.
All right. And then the replay, y'all please leave the comments and leave what your thoughts are in the comment section. And we talk to y'all later. See you next week. Take care. Bye
See you next
bye.
Sunday.
Bye bye, guys. Hold on, we still